We are calculating volume today. Now, volume is always with three-dimensional figures, and volume measures the measure of the inside space. So we just want to know how much space is in there, and volume is really easy to calculate because what you always do is you take the area of the base times the height. Now we're going to focus on prisms and cylinders today, and we know that prisms can have different bases. So some prisms like this, which are called rectangular prisms, they'll have square or rectangle bases. But we also could have triangular prisms. So if we had a triangular prism, that means that our base is a triangle times our height. So when we take a look at these, it's the base that's really important for us. So let's just start with a rectangular prism. Remember, volume is always area of the base times the height. Well, in this rectangular prism, my base is a rectangle. So when I look at that rectangle, I see a length of 10 and a width of 3. It's that bottom part. If you covered everything up, you just want to look at the shape that's actually on the very bottom. Now that height is 4. So what we usually do is say volume is length times width times height, but I just wanted you to realize that that length times width is actually just the area of that base. Then we multiply it by the height. So we just fill that in. 10 times 3 times 4 is 120, but we do centimeters cubed because cube represents the 3 dimensions of the inside of this figure that we're actually solving for. So volume always is going to have a units cubed to it. Now a triangular prism, again, we're only going to be looking at the area of the base, but the base is different. So the base here is a triangle. Now how do I know that's the base? Because remember, the bases, you only have 2 of them in a prism. So when I look here, I can see a triangle, I can see a triangle, but I see a rectangle, and a rectangle. It has to be the triangles as my bases. So when I look at my area of my base, I got to calculate the area of the triangle. And my triangle is base times height divided by 2. So I see my base of 16, my height of 18, then I have to divide it by 2, and I get 288 divided by 2, which is 144. There's my base. Now I got to multiply it by its height, and that height is at 22, so 144 times 22 is 3,168 centimeters cubed. So for me, when I'm ever working with volume, I just always think area of the base times the height. Now cylinders are no different, because when we take a look at our cylinder, our base is a circle and then we have height. So again, we're going to do area of our base times our height. Well, the area of the base, since it's a circle, is pi r squared. Then we're going to multiply it by its height. So pi is going to be 3.14. My radius here is 8, so I'm going to square it to 64. My height is 9. So when I do my calculation, I get 1,808 and 64 hundredths. Often they'll say round to the nearest whole number, so I would round it to 1,809 feet cubed, because it is volume for that. So that means the measure of this inside space would be 1,809. So volume is far easier than surface area, as long as you remember it's always the area of the base times the height. Good luck, I know you'll do well.